It was really amazing. I feel like I was kind of nervous about turnout only because it's like before school starts, but everybody turned out and the energy was great, and it was just a lot of fun.
I agree. I mean, obviously we had a great opponent. They're ranked 6th, we're ranked 3rd, and we came out here strong. We just did what we do in the gym, and it ended out great.
I didn't really know what to expect, but I thought it was awesome. So,
Makenna, you obviously went through the Red Rocks preview and stuff like that, but obviously this is a different thing. What did it feel like just to be able to go for your first time?
it was so amazing. It was just so cool, like, to see the energy. Like, I thought it was hyped for Red Rocks preview, but this was, like, no comparison. Like, it was amazing.
Maile, you weren't lying that vault is a lot better this year. When you said that after the Red Rocks preview, I'm curious from your perspective, just what is different about the lineup this year than last year?
We obviously have a couple new faces and a couple new vaults. Obviously, Makenna is a great addition to our team, and so is Abby Brenner for vault. I just feel like we understood that vault was going to be something that we needed to work on to be a contender for a national title. And I feel like Jimmy works really well with our girls, and our girls work really well with Jimmy, so it's just like a great mixture of a lot of things.
Beam obviously still continues to be one of you guys' strong suits. Do you feel like there's still more to give, or do you feel like you kind of hit mid-season form, or where do you guys feel like you're at right now?
This year, our goal for Beam actually is not a certain score, not being better than last year. It's to be proud of what you do every day. Every day in the gym, we get in there and we have hard assignments sometimes, easier sometimes, more pressure. And the goal each and every day is just to do your best gymnastics, and that's I think what we did out there today. So whether that was how we're going to be at postseason or not, we just want to be proud of how we do.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely still room to grow, but that's a good thing. You don't want to come out and be perfect, because then what you're going to do, be perfect for the whole season? Probably not. So I think it was a great start for us.
For you personally, how encouraging is it to get a high score like that in the first meet when the scores are typically lower?
Personally, it felt good, but I knew it wasn't like my best routine. I feel like Carly says this a lot, but like you get a 10 sometimes and you're like, I can still do more or do better. So I definitely have that standard for myself, and it helps exponentially. Like when your first 5 go up and hit, it just kind of like relieves a little bit of pressure and allows you to perform at your highest ability.
So on the whole, this was one of your best scoring season openers that I can remember. I know you said scores are not that important to you right now, but it was one of the best scoring season openers that you guys have had. And I'm curious, what was different maybe in the off season that has y'all as a team competing the way you did tonight? Because that was not ordinary.
We honestly just have a great vibe in the team. I feel like we all mesh very well, and it just made training a lot easier. When you build each other up, training goes a lot better, and same thing going into meets. When you're all together as one, it's so much easier and more fun to compete.
Yeah, that team chemistry I feel like is like our totally different vibe this year, and it's a great feeling knowing it. Like they come into every meet and into every practice, and everybody's going to be behind you and support you no matter what.
Ken, obviously you come into this as the new face, but coming into it, what's kind of your outsider/insider perspective now that you've been a part of this program and kind of seeing the inner workings?
I think it's just amazing. Like, I didn't really know what to expect, like, coming into college gymnastics, and like I never had the team really like back at my home gym. So like having all of these people around you to like support you, it just brings like such a different like feel in the gym. Like if I'm having like a bad day, like someone's always there to like cheer me up and try and make me smile or get me out of like any funk that I might be in.
So unfortunately, I think I've asked this question after every season because Jillian has an injury that ruins her year every season. But what was it like to see her go out and compete again after another incredibly hard injury and then rehab?
It was funny that you asked that, because like while we were in the locker room like changing into our competition wheels and stuff, I was like, I'm proud of you, Jill, just because like she's such a dedicated person and hardworking and like resilient, and it's amazing to see her come back year after year after year and just be as amazing, if not more, every single time.
You can just tell how bad she wants it every single year. And we're just like Maile said, we're so proud that she was able to come back even stronger every time. And like her Achilles is strong and her vault was amazing, and we're just so proud.
When Grace sat down on the vault, did you guys talk to her at all, or do you kind of just leave her alone and kind of let her work through it? Because she obviously did really well on the bars on the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this like in the preseason to like know what we want and what we don't want. That way, we can help them as best as we can. And I think for her, it's just like best to let her work herself out of her funk or have the coaches do that. And that's exactly what we did. And obviously, it worked. So that's just what we're going to continue to do is help each other the way we know best.
It's so important for us to start like we did tonight. We know we were throwing a lot of new skills and some new athletes and things, so we felt that it was a great start for the program. The two mistakes that we did have were both new skills, and so when you throw 11 new skills in one meet, something could go awry, and they were just misjudged. Nothing that they can't fix or won't fix or don't want to fix. So, yeah, we really were pleased with this starting meet.
You throw 5, 10 starts on the vault. I mean, do you feel like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously you know you can get a little bit more, but do you feel like, you're kind of feeling like everything's good right now, or kind of where do you see this progressing?
The goal is 6.
With
We got some athletes working some more upgrades. Yeah, I mean, it's the first meet. So that's the first, for us to throw 5, we thought that was a big step for our program, especially at the opening meet. And thought they handled them really well. I did, talk to Grace after the meet was done, because that's how Grace is. And I just said, hey, it looked like you got a little greedy on that vault. And she goes, I told myself not to try to go for the stick. And then in the air, I'm like, let's stick this.
You have to like how she fought back, though. Or maybe not fought back. She
I
just
mean,
kinda
yeah,
brushed it off.
just brushed it off. I mean, the next 3 events are incredible. And so super proud of her, and that's exactly what I talked to her when we were in that rotation between vault and bars. I just said, hey, brush this off, let's just go and do our thing. So it was great.
Do you like the vault lines?
Yeah, I've been a proponent of those, and maybe had a hand in getting that proposal through for the past 5 years.
it seemed like all around, I mean, you've been able to kind of raise the level on all events, rotations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that you're seeing that, especially with the higher score, obviously, this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing we're continuing to push is the exactness in our skills, and we're going to do that, and that's something we're pretty determined on, and every day in the gym, and then translate it over to the meet. But there were some jitters tonight. I mean, there were some nerves out there tonight. We saw them. It's things that we don't see in the gym. But again, it's your first meet. It's LSU. It's on ESPN. We really feel like the team handled it well.
Makenna was obviously really, really good tonight for her first collegiate meet.
Not too bad for a freshman, huh?
Not too bad, and you've obviously been able to recruit quite a few freshmen who can do that. I'm
Yep.
curious what traits she has that stand out to you that lets her go up and do that.
When she's in the gym, and she's just she's got this nice spirit about her. She's spunky, but also so even keel. And so exactly what I saw in the gym is exactly what I saw today. She just, we asked her. She said, how you feeling? And she says, great. Let's go get this done. And that is her response. And she went out there and was aggressive in her routines, didn't hold back, and then you saw some fantastic performances.
So obviously you get Crystal back this year, and especially back from the Red Rock preview.
Yeah.
What did you see from her tonight that you liked, especially being that fifth-year veteran you have on the team?
It was funny because her bar routine was a little, for Crystal standards, a little rushed, a little off. But then I reminded myself she didn't even have a Red Rocks preview, and so just coming back after that ankle that she had, I just said, hey, go do your thing, just be Crystal. And on balance beam, I thought she was brilliant. I mean, and she's just steady. We plugged her in. That was a substitution. That was a lineup change from original lineups, and so plugged her in, and away she went. And what we like about her, there's no substitution for the experience that some of these athletes have on this team. Multiple Final Fours, multiple Pac-12 championships. It's been in the toughest environments, opening with LSU. I mean, that this is an experience that will bode well for us in building confidence.
Did you have to have a talk to your team about just kind of the nerves of playing a LSU team in the first meet, or
Yep.
are they kind of at that level where you kind of just feel like they understand it?
Oh, I mean, we're coaches, and so you're going to talk to them, and that's just part of coaching. But really, what we were trying to impress upon them is that they're ready for this. They're trained for this. There is no reason to have any doubts whatsoever that we can come in here and compete, and that's what they did.
You kind of hinted at this or talked about it. Obviously, this is a very experienced team.
Yes.
Very veteran team. couple years ago you had very young teams. I'm curious what the major differences are between a team like this and a team like that as far as coaching goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of strategy in coaching, and so getting that 2020 routine team ready, that was when we lost Makenna and Skinner, and I mean, I think Kari Lee, I think we lost 15 routines that year. Believe me, every week was we got to get this done, down to the seconds of practice, and it was every single second. And this team, because it's veteran, and we use that word veteran a little lightly because we actually have a lot of underclassmen doing work, sophomores and freshmen. There's a lot of work being done by them. But they come in with such a resumes and such experience, or if you're Makenna Smith, you act like a senior when you're a freshman and bust out that. So yeah, I mean, things are different. So now we're in the gym, and the pace is a little bit different, the rotations are a little bit different, and the assignments are a little bit different. But I've said this before, I never coach one team the same as the next team. It's not going to happen. Can't. There's some things, common threads between each year, but you can't coach exactly the same each year. And so with this team, we've coached a little different, and I'll let you know in April if it worked.
Just your thoughts on Jillian's once again coming back and being out there and fighting for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible, and she's the epitome of somebody who's got this internal drive, and when we got her, I mean, she's one of the fastest, quickest, most explosive athletes I've ever recruited in my career, And for her to keep fighting back like this, it just speaks volume for her determination and her love for the sport and this program.
So obviously you get Kara on beam tonight.
Yep.
Is there a chance that we see her on other events as the season progresses with, your methodical, not telling and not switching around lineups week to week?
Well, she warmed up floor pretty good tonight. All passes. Did a dance through with the last pass. I thought she looked pretty good. Yep. She's ready on bars. She's ready on floor and bars. So you'll see a lot of people on floor this year. How about I just say that?
Was there any thought ever about Amelie not being leadoff on beam, or is that just the role that?
No. Am has been just fantastic, and new mount, new dismount, and she goes up there and sets the tone. And for us, that was just incredible. And that's a hard dismount. I've had that competed one other time, and she just dropped it. It was beautiful. So, no, I mean, Am is just so calming and just goes up to her presence. And that's a hard triple series, and super pleased.